However much his wife loathed him, his sisters-in-law loathed him far more.
Back in November 2016, Sarah McLean was in the middle of writing her best-selling romance novel when this...
Donald Trump wins the presidency.
made her pause and completely rethink her leading man.
When I opened the document on the next day, I realized that I had 275 pages of a character who probably would have voted for Donald Trump, and I couldn't do it. So I threw it all out and started over.
And I moved on her.
Statements like these.
Grab him by the...
This was locker room talk.
Such a nasty woman. Trust fund
made the drastic edit necessary for her. She chose to shift away from the more traditional romantic arc of a jerk who takes many pages to evolve to one who's already there.
I wanted him to be that alpha feminist from the very start. I wanted him to believe in his heroine. I wanted him to believe in hope.
So the heroine kind of hates a small town.
Across the border, Toronto-based romance writer Laura Davis also found the Trump effect seeping into her writing.
Her fingers itched to unbutton his shirt and touch his chest, but she behaved herself.
Not only did she switch from erotic romance to a more comedic style, as an escape from dark headlines, she also made herself a promise to introduce more diverse characters into the world of romance.
With Donald Trump, overt racism seems to be a lot more acceptable now. And we see the news about white supremacists marching and stuff like that. So I particularly wanted to write and tell stories about heroes and heroines who aren't white. And show that they deserve to have happy endings too.
The changes are noticeable as the genre comes into its own, gaining more attention. 50 Shades of Grey, the book, exploded more than 5 years ago and vaulted romance into the mainstream.
My tastes are very singular.
The franchise has even inspired an upcoming comedy about a book club discovering the joys of reading those steamy scenes.
Whoa, what's that? That's not mine. I've never seen that book before, honestly.
This is nasty.
That old hidden shame is all too common, romance as a guilty pleasure. But the much maligned black sheep of the literary world is just so popular. A billion-dollar industry making up a third of America's fiction market and packing conventions around the world. So popular that some now say its bad reputation is on its way out. The mighty New York Times Book Review has, for the first time ever, hired a romance novel reviewer, Jamie Green.
Part of the shift is that women are just sick of being made to feel embarrassed about what they love and what they enjoy reading. You know, just like overall in culture, I think there's a sort of resistance now to the idea of guilty pleasures, that if something is a pleasure, you don't need to be guilty about it.
Another shift, raunchy sex scenes are the new norm. The publisher synonymous with old-school romance, Harlequin, recently launched its Dare series, full of bold women asking for what they want in the bedroom. Still, romantic conventions abound and can be problematic in today's climate. The boss seducing his secretary, the billionaire boss walking around naked in front of an employee. Sarah McLean says altering the traditional tropes is not always easy when you're messing with a reader's fantasy.
I've had lovely hate mail about books being returned to bookstores and whole collections of my books being donated to the library.
At the end of the day, romance novels are about escape, and the all-important ending is non-negotiable.
Because everyone deserves a romantic getaway.
Happily ever after, even when politics may get you down. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Toronto.